So good evening, everyone. Hopefully you guys doing all right. But guess what? Have you ever gone to a summit or a PD and you're just like, in the beginning, you're like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. This is going to be a waste of time. And then all of a sudden, as you're sitting there, boom, there is like a session that just spoke to you. It was almost like one of those type moments. And if you have, please stay around because I'm actually going to give my takeaways on that Math Tutor Side Hustle virtual summit that I was actually a presenter on. And just some of the things that I kept hearing over and over again, which I know a lot of tutors are probably going through the same exact thing. So, hey, if you're viewing this live, go ahead in the comments, hit hashtag live. If it's the replay, just go ahead and type in hashtag replay to kind of help with the algorithm. All right. So for those that don't know me, my name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the founder of ACG Math Tutoring. And I've decided to leave my 18 years of being in the classroom, dealing with so much foolishness, and decided to do my own online math tutoring business. And I've been doing it for the last 3 years. And it has been busy, especially this time of year, because kids are taking their finals. And everyone's like, freaking out. So I've been dealing with that majority of the day today. So I just really just wanted to kind of just take a moment to kind of share in and to say hi. Hey, Lynette, welcome in. Welcome to a live that's going directly to my group. So for the most part, when it comes to summits, a lot of people, every time you turn around, there's a summit, there's a conference. It's going live here. We're going live there. It's all kinds of crazy. And there's so much information. And for me as a presenter, when I want to share my information, I really kind of try to think of who's watching it. And sometimes I want to think of, especially the novice, like people that have never done this before, because there's so many platforms, there's so many programs. Everybody is like pitching this is going to happen. You're going to blow up. You're going to make $1 million in the first year, and you're sitting there like, yes, yes, yes. And then when you start with your business, you're like, okay, I'm excited, I'm pumped. And then you're at the summit and you're like, okay, I want to watch every video. And some summits vary, especially with the videos. Now, some people will have like 25 videos. It'll be like a 4-day summit. And if you're just like everyone else, you were like, all right, I don't want to pay in full if it's a free summit. So you have to like watch all the videos. And then it's like a one-time thing. So once midnight hits, those videos just go disappear. So a lot of people are like freakishly watching videos and writing down notes and just really taking in information. And a lot of people don't realize that I am talking to like a novice. Like I've been in the classroom for how many years? Now I have to change my mindset from classroom teacher to basically a business person. So there's always like a lot of things I always like to tell people after you watch a summit, give yourself a couple of days. Look at your notes one at a time. There might be some things that really spoke to you, but sometimes you want to kind of give it some time just for things to marinate. So when I went to the side hustle, I was very honored to be there. And I just like to present in a way that I'm speaking to a novice. Like I'm really truthful. For people that know me for years, I'm going to give you the real. If you ever want real talk, just go to Audrey. If you want someone to give you fluff, don't go to Audrey. If you want someone to support you, go to Audrey. If you want someone to kind of give you a kick in the rump, go to Audrey. So it's just a lot of those things. And when you go to those summits, it's almost like you have questions. But I think the thing happens is you get questions after the summit. And then you're like, oh, I wish I should have asked that question. And well, do I email that person or how do I get in touch with them? And sometimes when you do go to a lot of presenters, they will sit and talk with you and do an exchange, but down at the other end, there's going to be some kind of cost coming up. So I know when you first start, you want to be as I want to get as much as I can for free just to get started, but then you get stuck and you're like, well, where do I start? There's a lot of great things out there and I want to absorb. I'm like a sponge, but just like a sponge, you can have extra water and just all of a sudden you're just a lump of something on the side of the sink, right? So when it comes to later on, keep watching because I am going to have a big announcement at the end of this. And most of my lives, like I said, sometimes I'm on for a half an hour, sometimes I'm on for like 20 minutes. I just like to say what needs to be said. You guys take in what you can take in. And if you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can direct message me. You can direct message me on Facebook, Instagram, even on TikTok. Or you could just go to acgmathtutoring.com, which is my website. I just get alerts coming through from the website, or you can email me at acgmathtutoring@gmail.com. So back to the summit and hold on for the announcement. So when it comes to summits, when people go and they're collecting information, it seemed like the constant question that was on a lot of people's mind was, what's stopping you from moving forward? And it's not so much moving forward for an offer that a presenter is giving. Sometimes it's just like moving from the classroom over to your own business. Now, it is a huge step. And it is scary because you've been in the classroom, you've had your routine down. And especially if it doesn't matter if it was the same classroom, because sometimes administration, like, you know what, I want you upstairs, I want you over here, and they'll change your rooms and everything. But for the most part, it's just like you had your routine, you have your classes, you have your kids, and regardless of their abilities or disabilities, you know that when kids came in, they came in a certain way, they have their routines to sit down, they're reading the objectives. Sometimes, some places, they're looking at the Common Core standards, and then like they're having their homeworks, how they're going to be collected, or just how they're going to sit. Is there going to be an activity beforehand? You had your routine. And then all of a sudden, you're going from that routine to something that you're not quite sure of. So then when it comes to, and I've talked about this before, like what kind of holds people from moving forward. And I asked this lady when I was doing my extra presentation, she was just like, fear of failing. Like, I don't want to fail. Who wants to fail? But it's almost like I had this because I listen to a lot of motivational videos in the mornings just to pump me up when I'm lifting massive amount of weight. Like, where am I going? Um, and it just really called to me when they said, if you fail once, that's not a failure. That's just your first step on the journey. And I wish I knew who said that because I was like, I am sold. Because there's so many times that we're afraid to make a mistake. But yet we as teachers, we keep telling the kids, especially with math, make sure you write in pencil because if you make a mistake, you can erase it and then redo. Why don't we give ourselves that same courtesy? Like, why are we expecting when we do something new or we're unsure about it, we're supposed to advance as soon as we get started? Like, we're supposed to know what exactly we're supposed to be doing because, oh, it's tutoring. We know that content piece, but the business side of it is not that strong. And that's okay. It's a learning in process. And I know, trust me, I hate learning while doing because it's annoying. Because you're up later. Like, if I want to do anything, I'll be truthful, I go to YouTube. I go to Google, I go to YouTube. I'm like a YouTube whore. Every time I want to do anything, I'm searching it. there's got to be someone that did a tutorial on it. If I'm looking at a platform that seems intriguing, I go to YouTube and check out the tutorials, see how long that video has been on there, see how many likes or approvals they got on there, how many comments, what's in the comments, because maybe someone asked a question further that I didn't think about. And I'm looking and seeing how they respond and how long it took them to respond. So when I kind of look at that whole fear of failing, it happens everywhere, every business, every venture that you're about to go on. But guess what? If you start something, like say you get a client and you know that you and that client just don't match up, it's perfectly fine for you to say, we're good fans, we're not a good fit. And I don't think we can do this further. I know you're thinking about the money, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose out on this money. But would you rather lose out money or your sanity? Because if you want to lose your sanity, why did you leave the classroom? Just a thought. So that was coming up, and it quickly transported me to when I first started. And I knew I was nervous. I didn't want to leave the kids. So I made sure I finished the year out. And just to know that I wasn't getting my classroom ready again, it was kind of refreshing, saved a lot of money. But at the same time, it felt weird. And then you're just like, I really want to put forth my heart, my soul, my effort into this business. So, in order for me to do that, some people go to conferences, some people are watching videos, they're reading books, they're doing all kinds of things to get everything situated. So, when you have all these, you get a lot of information. And then all of a sudden you hear someone else like, well, I do this. And you have another person that's been doing tutoring for 20 years. And well, I do this. And then you're sitting there like a novice, like, I'm not going to make it. But guess what? You are. So one of the things that I like to say is, you know, usually everyone asks the same question. What do I need to get started? And the simplest question, and the one answer is, especially number one answer for me is, you don't need a website. All right. This is mistake number one, numero uno. One. That's it. You don't need to start with a website. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, you should go for a website. You need a website. You'll have people, they'll sit there and tell you, like, oh, I can make your WordPress for $5,000. There's people out there that will say that. I'm going to create a website for you because you're not sure what's supposed to go on there. And you're just like, okay, I got a business name. All right, let's start with that. But what am I going to put on my website? What's going to attract my person? And you're worried about the structure of the website and you're working on it for weeks. And you're giving this person money for weeks. So you're starting your business chucking out money like there's no tomorrow. You're just making it rain up in there. All right? No. Sometimes you have to take a moment to just stop and think, what is your vision? What do you want? Who is the client that you want? And even further, and I talked about this before, is you got to get your mindset together because now you're no longer a martyr. You are basically presenting yourself. You get to control how much you want to charge. You get control on what your schedule is. You get to control basically what your schedule is, how much you want to charge, how you're going to survive it, how many slots you want to have available. You get to control all that. There's no more someone that's going to tell you that, okay, you need to have 42 kids in your classroom because we have nowhere else to put them. You don't have to deal with that anymore. And I know it's going to feel weird because that's what you were so used to. Here's my roster, or here's my, my list of my kids. And then, okay, I just check them off, do attendance, make sure they have everything, make sure they fill out all their forms. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do lesson plans anymore. So when I was listening to the other presenters present. Like there's things about another tutoring company. There was another person that was doing group instruction. There was another person that's doing SAT group instruction. There was another person talking about blogging. There was another person talking about how to earn money on TPT. For those that don't know, it's Teachers Pay Teachers. And it was just a nice mix and to give people ideas. But my inspiration was from the participants and just some of the questions that they were asking in the chat. And it really kind of motivated me again. Like, yes, I'm tutoring, I'm doing a lot of things that they want to do. And I know some of the pitfalls, but I'm going to mention some of the pitfalls. But again, I can't take everything away from them. And that's one thing that if you do look for programs or summits, they're going to talk about some pain points. That's going to happen. But there is no program out there that's going to take away all the pain points. It can't. It's not possible. Because if you take that pain away, and it kind of goes to that whole fear of failing, if I take all your pain points away, so you don't have to worry about kids, you don't have to worry about parents yelling at you, everything's going to go smooth, you're not going to have any disruption of payments, like everyone's paying on time, it's going to be nice and easy. So then how are you going to grow? Because just like everything else in business, there's certain levels. There's an entry level, there's an intermediate level, there's an advanced level. So if everything is so nice and easy at that entry level, why would you even think about going to the intermediate level? Or vice versa, you're at intermediate. Why would you even go to the advanced or the pro level if everything is so easy? You have no reason to want to do more. You'll be perfectly fine and comfortable where you're at. So that's why I kind of like, and I always say, like summits that is like really directed towards you. Maybe it's like directed towards starting just a business in general, hopefully like a service business or a product business. Those are the things you have to also ask about when you do a summit. Am I going to be geared towards product or is it going to be towards service? Because I've done a couple of summits and some conferences and it was really cool, but at the end it fell short because I'm a service business person. I make my money by providing a service to another client, which I will be doing after my life. And but it's slightly different from when you're doing a product. When you're doing a product, like people can actually see the calculator. You can actually tell what the value of it and do all that. Hey, Alicia. So when you have all that product, you can actually physically see it. You can put a value to it, but it's harder with the service because that's why a lot of people like to shop around and move here and move there. And it just seems like it's never really geared towards my service. Or there might be some summits that with the summit, it is for service industries, but maybe not mine. I always feel like as a math teacher, I always felt like I always had to try to make myself fit in. And I don't like to fit in. I like to, you tell me what's going on, let me think outside the box and I take it and I run with it. But when it comes down to trying to fit in with the other contents, it's just like you're trying to always just try to make things nice. And sometimes making things nice, especially for math teachers, it never turns out nice. It never turns out nice. It always seems like we always have to take a lot less than all the other intelligence. So, without us doing that, the next thing is I don't want to put anything out. And I kept hearing that. I don't want to put stuff out unless it's perfect. Have you ever said that to yourself? I know a lot of people it's like the website. Like I don't want to I want to hit publish until it's perfect. Oh, I don't want to start my business until my business cards are perfect. Or I want to make sure that my Instagram or my website or my Facebook or Pinterest or any kind of social media platform, I don't want to start until my profile is perfect. So when are you going to start? Because, darling, there's no such thing as perfect. That's a perception. What you perceive that is perfect is never that. Have you ever like tried to do something and then all of a sudden you see, hey, Shishi pen, and all of a sudden you think everything's all fine and done. You're like, okay, that's great. And then you're about to submit it. You're like, oh, wait, I forgot to put my name on it. So it wasn't perfect. You forgot something. Oh, you know what? I didn't check to see if the links work. All right, now I got to do that. Okay, now I did that. Now it should be fine. Oh my goodness, on the bottom, I didn't put a footer. Like, how are people going to contact me? How I didn't do a description. I just did some stuff and then you're lost. So, when it comes to any type of business, but I'm going to gear it towards tutoring, there's no such thing as perfect. You're stalling. And my other favorite is I want to take it slow. Okay, but how slow do you want to take it? But yet you really want to start doing something during the summer because you're noticing kids, and I've always said for secondary teachers or tutors, you're not going to see as many kids. I'm going to have to admit that I need to apologize because today I got 3 phone calls from fifth graders going into sixth grade and one eighth grader going into the ninth grade, and they need help and they want to get some tutoring over the summer. And then I have my other 2 girls that I normally have during the summer. They want to come back for the summer. Then I got another person that's brand spanking new from TikTok that wants me to tutor his son during the summer. Your girl's going to be busy. So, and it seems like it's happening during those transitional years. It's like anyone that's going from fifth grade to sixth grade, there's a jump. Those that are going from eighth grade to ninth grade, we always know that there's a jump with that. Not only like the skill set of the math is going to be different or reading and all that, but also the demands are going to be different. Also, the atmosphere is going to be different. Just your attitude altogether is going to be different. Because as a teacher, I definitely told my principal, please don't put me with ninth graders because you will get phone calls from parents each and every day. Because I will tell a kid what to do, where to go, and how quickly they should have gone, if you get what I'm saying. But when it comes to, I always see them coming in, they're all bucked up because they're like, yeah, I was the best when when I was in eighth grade. We were the best. We were number 1 in that school. I'm like, yeah, but you're in high school now. You got to learn your place. And that's what happens. You got to learn your place. The senior is not going to sit there and listen to a freshman. They're going to be like, yeah, that was cute. No, and just keep it moving. But when it comes to like being perfect for your business, it's never going to be perfect. You can do it to the best that you feel like, you know what, I'm doing what I need. And guess what? When you start something, guess what? You can always tweak it. It doesn't have to be completely done the first time. You can always start. If you do start a website, but if you do have a website, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Just hit publish. As soon as you hit publish, it doesn't mean that 80 million people are going to come flooding into your website because people are not searching websites. They're going on social media and they're scrolling. They're going left, they're going right, they're scrolling up and down. Their attention span is like literally a second. That was the attention span right there. Um, So when people are saying that, oh, they're coming to my website, no, they're going to your social media. They're seeing who you are. They want to get to know you a little bit more. And then you, for what's called a CTA, call to action, you're guiding them into your website. So that's how they're seeing more of the website because it's something that you did outside that brought them in, and then you're having that discussion, and now they're contacting you. All right. So, other thing that was said, I don't want to be salesy. Guess what? Everyone in business is in sales. Everyone. Everyone is dealing with sales completely. So when it comes to no one wants to be, when I say the word salesy, the first thing you think about is the used car salesman with the bad leisure shoot, just coming like, hey, very aggressive. And people don't want that. But if you haven't noticed, things have changed a little bit when it comes to business. A lot of people that are involved in business, like their personalities are different. Not so many extroverts. I'm starting to see more introverts that are starting businesses. Like they're doing like email templates to help people out with setting up their emails to not only have people join their newsletters, but to actually have written emails so they can do what's called plug and play and be able to generate some stuff. You'll have a lot of people that will actually design your website for you without charging $5,000, which is insane. Or they'll give you suggestions. They might do an analysis on your website to kind of help boost you up a little bit. A lot more people, it doesn't matter if they're an introvert or an extrovert, they're really starting to play, get out there and play a little bit with the business world. So when someone says, I don't want to be salesy, you don't have to be. You don't have to lose your integrity in order to be a business person. Who started that? If you really want to get involved into a business, let's say for tutoring, start small. You need a computer, you need good Wi-Fi, you need some kind of platform that you're able to present, so like a Zoom or Google Meets or something like that. Um, And once you get that, you need an electronic whiteboard. All those other places, they do have electronic whiteboards. How are you going to collect payments and how are you going to do schedules? Start there. And then promote yourself. Go out there. Why? And the one thing I always like to say is stop standing in your own way. Hello. I haven't seen you in forever. But don't stand in your own way. If you really want to, and I hear a lot of people like, well, but, what happens if I charge this to this friend and an other friend finds out that I charge a different price? Or what happens if I did this assessment and I decided to do a different assessment with someone else? And why are you worrying about that? Because you want to stop yourself. You want to give yourself a reason to get in your way. It's like you want it, but you're not ready for the full on attention. And that's fine. That's why a lot of people say, I want to start slow with my business. But when you come to the summits, I know it's going to be overwhelming. There's a lot of information, as I keep saying. But then just focus on one thing. After you've taken all your notes, focus on one thing. You're like, I really liked this. I liked what she said about this. I want to hear more about this. Then reach out to that one person. Because there's tons of other summits that are popping up. Because there's going to be some summits during the summer. There's going to be some summits and conferences during the fall. There's always something. And I know as teachers, it's really hard because if you're still in the classroom, once summer is over and you're going back to school in August, believe it or not, some places, you're not going to have the time that you wanted. And I know as the years keep creeping on, the more and more you're just like, I need a break. Some people signed up for the conference and didn't show up, but they signed up so they can get the videos and watch it at their own leisure, which is fine. But sometimes it's kind of nice to see it nice and live. And speaking of which, if you're watching this live, hit that hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. But on my closure, You stayed here long enough. You wanted the big announcement. Some of you guys are probably like, Audrey, I knew you were gonna like be over around 8:30, so I just jumped on in. Well, before I get to the big announcement, if you are a math teacher or a math tutor that you just wanted to get like an extra support group, hey, I have my Facebook group for I almost forgot the name of it, from the classroom to online tutoring. It's been a crazy day, people. Just work with me. So it's just a place that you can go, you can ask your questions, you can get the support that you need, and it's all geared towards secondary math teachers. So we're talking about like, well, how do I do this? Should I assess? Should I not assess? What are some other resources that you can put together that I can show for my kids? Anything of that retrospect, that's what we do. Now, so before I tell you the announcement, I know I'm teasing you with this. Next week's topic is I'm going to actually show you, maybe not step by step, but as much as I can in a half an hour, how to start own, all of a sudden that Philly accent just came up. Math tutoring business, like how to start it, where to start, what are some of the things, and I'll actually break it down to you step by step, okay? Just to give you a nice general overview, maybe not full on details, but enough to get you started. All right? So, enough of that. And the reason why I'm doing that is here's the big announcement. Da-da-da-da. Okay, I know it was hard. So, the big announcement is I'm actually going to be starting a mastermind. All right, I had a mastermind before, I did a beta version of it just to see if it is something that is going to be of need. And the inspiration came from this summit. So, listening to people, where do I start? What do I do? Should I do this? Should I stop doing this and focus on this? There was like so many questions, and I felt like a lot of people were asking generally the same questions. So I decided, you know what? This was like Saturday after my presentation. And I'm like, I did an all-nighter, sat down and just cranked out what the mastermind will consist of. So I'm looking at everything from mindset, business planning, how to onboard clients, what to do, what to say before, what to say during the conversation, what to say after. The whole planning about assessing, not assessing, the difference between being scheduling or doing invoices, no invoices, and then just how to promote yourself, how to do marketing, how to talk in a camera, how to get this eye contact that's going on right here, how to speak, and what is it that you really should be saying to your potential client. This and so much more. I'm going to go into full on detail with it. And I am planning on starting this mid-June. I was thinking about the 16th, but then I was thinking of something this morning and I'm like, you know what? I might want to extend it to another week. So I'm thinking of like a 8-week program. I'm trying to get you guys ready for the fall season. So anything that we can get you started, get you situated, try to think of a way that is a paid version versus a free version. And I'm gearing it towards those novice. Like I'm looking for math teachers that are just like, look, this whole business world thing, I'm not getting it. I want to learn it. I want to learn how to use social media. I want to learn how to go live on Facebook. I want to learn how to interact with people on Instagram. I want it. I want it all. Okay. So stay tuned because I will be promoting that by the end of this month, but it will be starting mid-June so I can get you guys ready for the fall. All right. So was that a big one? Yay? Maybe? Little okay. So, all right. So I have to go because my client is freaking out and I have to end this live. All right. So you guys have a great day. If you have any questions or have any concerns, please, please, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can either do me on Facebook, ACG Math Tutoring, or Audrey Codner, or you can come to my group, which is from the classroom to online tutoring, or You can contact me on TikTok. I know it's crazy for Audrey Codner as well, or the Classroom Consultant because that's my business link. All right. So have a great night and I will see you soon. See ya.